on, guys? First, ConnorXcrash, and oh my gosh, who is this? Is this other way, bro? Other way. Turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. There you go. See. Here's the thing. Anytime I have to collab with this gorgeous man next to me, I always have to tell him, bro. No, listen. Left from right. Okay? You don't care about my life story. We're talking about the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and I want to tell you right now, before we even get straight into it, because I don't think you care about my life story. You don't care about where I came from. I want to tell you right now, holy me. It's been about 12 hours now, almost 12 hours now, since I watched the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And now that I've had a full day to process it, I still have mixed feelings entirely, because when I first came out of the theater, I was kind of disgusted by the film. I was kind of like, it's all over the place. It doesn't know what it wants to be. But after a day of like just sitting on it and pondering like everything that I processed from watching it, it's not a bad movie, but it's not necessarily good either. It's as mediocre and neutral as it gets when it comes to a video game adaptation. And if you have watched any video game adaptations like I have, especially if you can see from me being a giant Sonic fan, it's that one thing I was thinking about before going into this is that if there's one thing I can say about this movie that it does right, by the way, we're doing non-spoilers first, and then we're going to be doing spoilers later in the video. There are chapters down below on the video if you want to follow along with what's going on here. But if there's one thing I can say about this movie in general, it's that if their intention going into this was to make this surrounded around the Super Mario Brothers 40th anniversary, this movie does a damn well of a good job at achieving that goal. If this was just to purely celebrate the 40th anniversary of Mario in all ways possible, it checks the box. Like, this does what it needs to do, is to celebrate the 40th anniversary. I think it's a great way to celebrate the 40th anniversary. But as like, for something that is sent to be a cinematic experience, I'm not sure it ticks all the boxes in what I would look for in a movie. Now, obviously, it's a video game adaptation. It's not going to be perfect. But, I mean, if you want to take the floor here, you can. But I really just still don't know if I would say this is a good, necessarily movie experience. But if you're talking about just a pure, like, Nintendo experience, this is basically as Nintendo as it gets when it comes to anything else from the Mario franchise. I mean, like, like not much story to it. Kind of like, it's basically lackluster in story, but in terms of action and in terms of like what's going on screen, there's always something happening, almost like just like the actual Mario games. But for me personally, when I'm going into a video game adaptation, especially with what we've gotten in adaptations over the recent years, I'm looking for something that enhances the story and takes the characters to another, like to a higher but also a deeper level of storytelling compared to the games that they're based upon. I feel like that's something Nintendo doesn't really focus on when it comes to anything they produce for the big screen, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. I mean, whatever direction they want to go in, I can't control it. And if you enjoyed the movie, good for you, by the way. I'm happy for you, because this movie was 100%, 1000% made for the fans. But for me, I'm always trying to look for more when it comes to a video game adaptation or just a movie of any kind that's based on another property, whether it be comics, games, or any of those types of media, or books. But that's just how I feel about it. I just feel like there was a lot of things rushed. There was a lot of things that could have been done better. But if you're looking for Easter eggs and freaking references galore, and you're looking for something to point and scream at, yeah, you'll love the movie. But if you're someone like me who's looking for actual meaning, then no.
There's a lot of things in this movie that are just, they're hit and miss, which, you know, for an audience as, you know, as young as probably, let's say my cousins who are 3 and 5, they'll probably like go through this movie like, oh yeah, we'll have a great time, you know, which I did have a fun time with this movie. There are just a lot of things within this movie that just don't add up. And we'll get into that later when we get into spoilers, especially. The stuff here in general with this movie, I think, like Connor said, you'll get with it because a lot of stuff for like the 40th anniversary, they were literally leading up to this in general. As an adaptation, as for my favorite video game of all time, Super Mario Galaxy, I feel like this kind of goes on the low bar here because it's not really something that I really fully expected. Of course, it is an adaptation. I'm all for adaptations. It wasn't going to be on par with the game, period. I feel like that was literally like the first time when we really saw what they were doing. That was kind of the obvious point. But, I think when they were trying to sell us that this is the Mario Galaxy movie instead of, trying to adapt some other game within the entire time of what they were trying to do with this, it felt really rushed when they were just pushing everything forward with these characters, especially with said characters that I think, are pretty good in this movie. I just think certain things within the time that they were given with these characters, it felt really short. It didn't really add up to what I really expected from these guys, because you think they would do better from what we didn't really criticize from the first movie, what we tried to give them, I guess, pointers more, or like to add on to the experience. But at the same time, even though this movie is 30 minutes long, 30 more minutes long than the first movie, right?
Actually, no. This film is actually only longer by like 1 to 2 minutes. It's not even that much longer. So they have this almost the same exact runtime as the previous film. And they still try to cram even more into this one than what they tried to cram into the first film. It really does feel like they're trying to put more into, like, they're trying to put as much references as they can possible. They're trying to do so many subplots at once, but for a film that is only an hour and a half long, it doesn't work well unless you do it right. And it's just, in my perspective, it doesn't feel physically possible to put that much content into an hour and a half film that families are going to sit through. It's not possible. Like with Sonic, and this isn't me being biased at all, but with Sonic Movie 2, that one was 2 hours long, and they still tried to fit some of that extra content, not even just to fit references, but just to tell a story with extra subplots, and it actually allowed more room for the film to breathe. So I feel like as time passes, maybe opinions will change on the Mario Galaxy movie, but as it goes for a Mario Galaxy movie adaptation, I don't think this did the Mario Galaxy game justice. I really don't think it did justice exactly, because it felt like only 10% of the film truly felt like pure Mario Galaxy. Now, I'm not gonna say that I didn't appreciate my boy. Hold on, I'm sorry.
You had to do it? You really had to do this? This is all part of your plan.
You can't tell me they didn't do my boy, like, regardless of how much I feel like it was a wasted slot, you can't tell me that I didn't appreciate having my boy Fox McCloud basically steal the entire movie. He stole the show as soon as he came on screen. Anytime he was on, he was literally OR farming. I cannot, like, bro, I swear, the only problem is I couldn't exactly scream in the theater because it was a full house. Like the cinema was like seated, like sold out, and I couldn't scream because there's so many families and kids there. But genuinely, bro, like they did Star Fox justice in this film. Regardless of whether Star Fox belonged or didn't belong in this film, I feel like they really did him, like Glenn Powell, like everything about, I'm sorry, I'm going off right now. I'm going off so much because for those who don't know, I'm a huge Star Fox fan. I'm sorry, like it may not seem like it, but I genuinely love Star Fox before Rats. They did an incredible job with telling like Star Fox here, like and telling Fox McCloud's backstory and origins, and actually like going into like the Arwen in action when it comes to space combat. I think they did an incredible job.
I think the way he was introduced into this movie, at least, was a good job of how they represented his core part of this movie.
I'm trying to find a way to avoid talking about my second favorite video game character ever without spoiling anything, because like as soon as I saw his sequence pop up on screen, I literally jumped out of excitement. Like they hit all the right notes in terms of like telling, you know, Fox McCloud's, you know, like character, his trying to portray his personality, and just the action sequences he was involved in, and like basically everything about his character movements, his gestures, everything about, they nailed Fox McCloud so well in this movie that it makes me even more excited for the possibility of a Star Fox movie, because it basically allows Nintendo or Universal essentially, wherever it goes next, to expand the plot and the lore of this cinematic universe they're going for into making a Star Fox film, which I want now. I want it now because it's possible. I know it's possible now. It just depends on when they're going to do it.
I mean, you said all the pointers. I mean, to be honest, I feel like, I'm still conflicted entirely of like what they did with the characters in general. But the entire thing, like with Fox in general, I think he was really well represented here in this movie, because like when he was announced, because I think it was really dumb what they did when they announced him for this movie. They shouldn't have done that.
I feel like the poster was not what they should have done. They should have left that as a surprise, because I feel like the audience would have freaked out even more. I think I was the only one freaking out, and I feel like if they wouldn't have made that poster announcement, I feel like audiences would have blew up even more in the theaters than, because I blew up either way. Because I knew that poster was just pure art. That wasn't his actual 3D model or actual animation. So I didn't actually see what he looked like in the actual film from the poster. Like, actually, because, like, yes, the poster's exciting, but, like, I want to see them, how they're actually going to look in the film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Illumination, they know how to design the characters and stay true to how they look. They don't try to drift away and do their own thing. They stay true to the character designs, which I feel like is partially Nintendo there. I feel like that's part of the reason why it's so grounded. The whole movie feels very grounded, and I feel like it's because of Nintendo's involvement with the film as well. And I feel like that's kind of the downfall of this movie. Also kind of the first movie, but I feel like that's kind of the downfall of this second movie, is like Nintendo's involvement with the production of the film. It kind of like it's kind of like having a guard up and having the reins on production, preventing Illumination from truly exploring different areas of where the movie could go instead, essentially.
I think the general consensus here is that Nintendo is very handholdy on this thing. It's also a problem and it's a good thing and a bad thing. That's what I'm trying to say. I think the general thing about it is the way Nintendo is really putting in these characters, because imagine if we got this without Nintendo's involvement, and it would probably end up just like Mario 93. And no one wants to end up like Mario 93. But I'm glad that Nintendo is actually representing these characters to an extent pretty well. I'm glad we get to explore a little bit more from these characters.
I want to say, like, they did a really good job with character development with some of the relationships between certain characters, like Bowser and Bowser Jr., and then also like characters such as Mario, like the pure game between Mario and Peach. Like, character development and character arcs were definitely expanded upon, and there was lore to be had in this film. Like, there was some story development that actually helped to develop these characters furthermore, like whether it be their past experiences before the films, or whether it be like just expanding lore for like movies going forward. It does a good job with that, but it doesn't stick around. Like, it feels like right as we're starting to learn something, as we're about to expand a character's growth or learn about something new about the story of this universe, it feels like we can't do something like that without taking another second to be like, oh no, we don't have time for this. We gotta jump into another comedic bit or an action sequence. It feels like we don't take enough time. It's like the first movie where it doesn't slow down. Like, we're in a moment and then we don't have enough time to stick around there for long. We have to go to the next action sequence. We have to go to the next comedic bit. We have to land another joke. Now, while the first movie, I'm gonna say right now, I feel like the first movie, while it still had problems, did a better job with taking those moments to slow down than the Galaxy movie did. I feel like the Galaxy movie was way more rushed. Like, I feel like there was not enough time to actually process some things. I feel like there was moments in this film where I was really invested with what they were doing with the storytelling, and then after that, it cuts away to another gag or like to another moment where, oh gosh, here comes another enemy, we got another guy we have to take out. It just was like, but wait, I wanted more of that. I was actually invested. It just seems like, and another thing too is like Illumination explores different ideas of their own that differentiates from the actual game lore that Nintendo has established. It feels like there are just some changes here that I'm kind of conflicted on, but we'll get to those in spoilers here soon. But I feel like the changes aren't bad. It's just, it throws me off to what I've come to know from the Mario universe in general. Outside of that, I'm gonna say right now though, like, I know I've said a lot of cons, but if there's a couple pros I could say here, is that this movie is pure eye candy. This movie is visually gorgeous. I think this is the Illumination's best work yet. Like, this is I think they're like one of the best one of, if not the best films they've ever produced animation wise. Like, the animation is off the charts, incredible. I think Illumination is definitely one of the best animation studios out there when it comes to producing like animated films and using like the techniques they've learned over the years since their first film, Despicable Me 1. Like, they have taken a lot of things that they have learned, and they have like, not only that, but like both like in different art styles too. Like, it's pure eye candy. It's kind of like how I was when I walked out of Tron Ares. It's pure eye candy, but the story is, there's no substance. You know what I mean?
Nope.
That's kind of what this movie is. Like, if you're looking for like eye candy galore, something to look at and be like, whoa, pretty colors. But if you're not looking for substance necessarily, you'll like the movie. But I guess I was looking for a little more substance than just eye candy. But I will say one other thing besides the freaking visuals of the movie is that the soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal, and Brian Taylor did such he basically topped his work from the Mario Brothers movie. He basically hit all the right notes in terms of like when Fox is on screen, you can hear you can recognize like sounds from like any of the like from the different IPs that have been like teased for this movie, because we saw Pikmin and Fox and whatnot. Like, you'll definitely hear those medleys and whatnot, and like the reorchestration and remixes and touch-ups and just the new arrangements that they've taken from both the Mario Galaxy movie and then like Mario World and tons of other games from across the Mario franchise. Like, Brian Taylor does such a great job delivering justice to those Mario's OSTs that everyone knows and loves and cherishes. And I feel like he did a great job respecting the legacy of like the sounds of the Mario universe. So I really do feel like the music, this is the best like the Mario music has ever sounded, like low key. And I really hope that he comes back and continues to make more music for Nintendo movies, because like I feel like Brian Taylor understands what fans want when it comes to music.
Personally, I think the entirety of like how the music is presented is really good, especially in the battle scenes. The battle scenes are really, really fun and enjoyment. I feel like that is worth watching this movie for like these characters actually fighting and doing more action-packed stuff than the actual games. Because literally, if anybody knows like a regular Mario game, 3 hits to a boss, you're done. Which, you know, is fun in a game in a sense. It's all how it's in context. But like most of the time, it's just like that. These guys literally take hits and just literally get right back up to whatever they're trying to do. The entire time when all these characters are literally jumbled up together and they're fighting, I think literally just in any scene is really cool. Like literally Peach doing more stuff than she does in the games is some of the highlight of this movie. As you see in the trailer, she does way more than just that. The biggest characters that I think that really get more development is Bowser, because he really is one of my favorite Mario characters entirely. You see stuff like this in the RPGs and stuff. Jack Black is really good at making Bowser emote, and I feel like Illumination is really takes credit in that too, with like how they animate these characters and make them feel more than just one feeling. Chris Pratt, I think, is also great. He's a little bit more higher pitched in a voice that I kind of noticed. I think he does still pretty good as Mario. I think he's a little bit better in this movie than the last one. I think Charlie Day is really good. I think Benny Safdie. I think we were having like kind of like a little iffy thing back in the trailers when we first heard his voice, but now it's so familiar and like he actually sounds a little bit better in the movie. I think it just had to do that like we didn't hear enough of his lines. I think we only heard like at least 2 lines from him every like a spot, and it was almost the same thing. More in the movie, you'll get used to these characters. You really know how they really stand in this movie. As rushed as this movie is, you still understand these characters.
And while we're talking about voice performances, I want to say that Glenn Powell absolutely crushes it as Fox McCloud. I think that not only was he the perfect choice for it, but I'm glad that Nintendo heard him out when he actually reached out about voicing Fox, because fun fact, Glenn Powell actually reached out to Universal and Illumination, or Nintendo, I guess the whole party involved in making the film, and was like, hey, I want to voice my boy, Fox McCloud. And I'm just like, and not only that, but even Donald Glover like reached out to Nintendo about voicing Yoshi. And apparently Jack Black helped to like send that memo over to the team involved, with like just the whole team involved in making the Mario Galaxy movie, which generally I appreciate. Like, just the studio in general for hearing these actors out, because it leads into the fact that like they're willing to listen to feedback about some things, but also again I feel like it's still Nintendo holding the reins on things. But again, we've already mentioned that. But again, I feel like Glenn Powell, I feel like he understands, based on his performance, I feel like he just understands the character, he gets the character. Also, he was in freaking Top Gun Maverick. I don't know if that doesn't probably mean anything, but I feel like that says a little something, that bro went from actual like Top Gun freaking fighter flight pilot movie, the freaking flying a freaking R-wing across the stars, bro. Like bro is, I'm sorry, I need to control myself. I was expecting a lot more in terms of with Rosalina, and while they did expand a bit on that, she wasn't as much as I would have thought or hoped she would have been for a Galaxy movie, which is a little disappointing because one, you have someone who is a Nintendo superfan who is eager to play a character such as that, or even someone even more like frickin' Samus from Metroid, but you don't give them the screen time that I feel like that character should deserve in a movie that is literally about going from galaxy to galaxy to planet to planet. So I feel like that Nintendo and Illumination fumbled there in terms of like actually giving proper screen time to a character that is critical and essential to a movie like this one.
Yeah, I think that was like the major problem I really had, was like they really put down Brie Larson as like, since she is literally the character that is sourced right in the middle of Galaxy. You can't have a Galaxy game without Rosalina, and I think that's, or just a Galaxy anything media within Nintendo without Rosalina. I think that's really what put her down into that space. But I think you know, even the time we were giving her in the movie, she was pretty good. I think for her, what she was used for with her voice. If we got a little bit more of her, we could have saw her full potential. I feel like that was a big part of the movie. Besides that, outside of, before we jump into spoilers, overall, like the movie wasn't bad, but also I was just hoping for more personally. Now I know tons of people, I've already seen plenty of people like go into their thoughts on Twitter and just the internet in general, and a majority of people enjoy the movie, and I'm glad that they enjoyed the movie. I'm glad they enjoyed their time and their stay in this universe for the hour and a half that everyone got to see this in. And just for me, I feel like it wasn't enough for what is defined as what should be a cinematic experience. To me, this felt like an amusement park ride I could go to Universal for with a big screen on it, and it didn't feel like a cinematic experience that I was actually fully immersed in at all. It just felt like I was in a freaking ride, like actually pointing and just being hyped for the most part. And like I was immersed and actually like invested in the lives of these characters and the story it was telling, but most of the time it took me away from that immersion and just started throwing things left and right at me like it was a YouTube short. That's just kind of what this movie felt to me, and that's kind of a disappointment, especially since they lean more into the snappiness of everything more than taking the moments that the first film did with a lot of the things that it did, like the moment between Mario and Peach in the first film in the garden, or even like that one moment where Mario realizes like, you know, what Luigi and his brother Luigi and him were there for to do, and Brooklyn is Plumbers. Like, it really took away from the moment. Like, we had more sentimental moments and things that led to great storytelling in the first film than what this film did, because this film did less of that. And I feel like they didn't explore like the story as much as they did explore just pure action and just pure non-stop adventure, which you want adventure in a film like this, but I feel like there has to be substance. There has to be somewhere where like, there's a lot of people who enjoyed it, and there's a lot of bigger creators out there who also enjoyed the film for what it was. And honestly, that's great. Like, that's good for Nintendo, and I'm glad that they had a good experience. But for me, I guess I was looking for a little something more. And that's where I jump into spoilers now, because oh, sorry, I just need to hold on. Just hold on. I just gotta say, you know. You good?
What was that post-credit scene with Fox just going back to Lilac like that? You're gonna tell me? No. Hold on. You're just gonna tell me that, okay, just like that, bada bing, bada boom, bro is gone, and also during the final battle, bro is just in the background flying the observatory, and we don't even get to see that? Like, you're just gonna do that? You're just gonna do that? Now, we don't get to see him during the final battle at all? He's just flies him there. He's literally Fox McCloud is the freaking Han Solo of the film. I swear to gosh. And like, while Han Solo is freaking sick, I love him. Freaking, listen, Fox was great. Fox was great, okay? Like, Fox was amazing. If he's gonna only be there to get them from point A to point B, I feel like you should only sorry, as someone who is working on a series right now, I feel like you should only introduce characters who are actually gonna serve a purpose to the plot. Like, yes, technically he does serve a purpose to the plot, but like, after Fox did what he needed to do, why was he there anymore? You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
He didn't even use his blaster. He didn't even use his blaster.
Yeah, he didn't even use the gun. He didn't. I'm sorry. I just realized that.
He didn't use the Glock, bro.
I'm just like, bro. Like the first half when he was there, yeah, no, I was like, bro, this is amazing. And that final fight,
gone.
I know. I can't, bro. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. I'm just like, how? And you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna move on. Anyway, spoiler time. Generally overall, like the references here and right with Pikmin, and then obviously like with Mr. Game and Watch and whatnot as well. Like those references are appreciated, but again,
that threw me off so hard. I screamed. I freaking screamed in the theater. I was like, what the heck is going on?
But he was there for like 2 seconds, and so it's just kind of like.
Man, they used the 9 from Smash Brothers. I thought that was freaking cool.
Okay,
I thought that was funny. I thought that was funny. For the small time that like gave him a reference for, I was like, Luigi drew Game & Watch. Cool. Use the hammer. Bop. Hits Bowser. Obliterated. I thought that was funny as hell. But even though, because Game & Watch is not really a character, he's more of a reference even in Smash Brothers, like literally. But I was like, okay, we're doing that now. We're just randomly putting Game & Watch in the movie. Sure. Like, I don't know.
That makes me wonder even more about if there ever is going to be a Smash movie, because does this confirm that Game & Watch just doesn't exist somewhere? He was just a fake character that that Luigi accidentally grew up, and it was just some fictional character they drew up that just helped aid them in a fight. I don't know. I'm just very conflicted right now, because like, while I do appreciate these references, yes, I appreciate them. But it's just like, hold on, I'll say one thing that did throw me off. One thing that did throw me off was when Bowser freaking jumped in the freaking lava lake, and also that was hold on. There's so many things. Like during that final fight between Bowser and Mario on the bridge, the whole Mario Maker sequence with Bowser Jr., that was probably one of the most clever things they did throughout the entire movie. There are some references here, like with the Mario Maker section with Bowser Jr. on the D-pad and freaking game stick. That was probably one of the most clever things they did in this film, if not the most clever thing they did in the film. Like that was actually genius design in terms of that scene in general, and I'll give them props for that one. That was really well done. But obviously, like freaking cutting the bridge and whatnot, I'm sorry, like that was just such a well done sequence. Like even if there was even though again, like I said, substance and whatnot, I mentioned that earlier, that was a really well done sequence. I'll give them that. That was really well done. But like what I was not expecting was Dry Bowser to come out of the freaking lava. I was expecting Fury Bowser, if anything, bro. I swear.
To be honest, I think Dry Bowser was indeed a really good part of this film. I think if they leaned a little bit into more of that, I feel like I would have liked it. I liked it a little bit more than I did, because I love that part. Technically, they did put that in the original film. It was in the original form when they had Mario and Bowser on the bridge as a concept. They took it out for whatever reason, but now they put it in this movie. I was glad that they involved Bowser with his axe throwing, like in the original NES. That was really cool. Also for the fact that I think Bowser was probably the best handled character-ish in this movie. Other than probably Luigi and Yoshi, I feel like Bowser was really handled more, because it leans into his sensitive side a little bit more when he was talking to Junior, where he kind of leaned into his RPG side, where he didn't know whether he wanted to be Mario's enemy or not.
I just don't know. I still don't know how to feel about Bowser as a character, because again, I will say Bowser, I'll give one thing. Bowser and Bowser Jr.'s like chemistry and relationship throughout this film was one of the strongest parts of the film, I feel like, especially during the flashback. I feel like Bowser and Bowser Jr. as characters in this film were done really well. I feel like their chemistry and their relationship was one of the things that helped to keep the movie up. And especially during the flashback was one of the most clever, like, I think that was a clever thing, one of the clever things they did in the story in terms of like talking about like the dreams and the whole plan, master plan, all the way from the start was to take over the galaxy and destroy planets and whatnot with this giant like planet Bowser and the huge cannon. Like that whole flashback sequence and every moment that Bowser and Bowser Jr. had with each other, like everything about those two characters coincides so nicely together, and it's nicely well written, that I feel like if there was more moments like that without the characters, I feel like this movie would have had a little bit more substance to it. It would have had that substance I have been talking about. Because Bowser Jr. and Bowser have a great character arc in this. And I feel like I mean, Bowser especially has an amazing character arc. Amazing character arc in this film.
I think the entirety of like where Bowser and Bowser Jr. stand is that like they are like it exactly like, and I don't want to quote any of these other people that are just like, oh my gosh, it's exactly like the games. I feel like it's more expanded here, because Bowser does feel for Bowser Jr. in the games. It's just sometimes it feels really weird when he just puts him against Mario, where he's like, go fight Mario, but in this here, I feel since Jr. is the main villain here, I feel like there is more motivation for Bowser to keep doing what he's doing, especially when he is put against Mario. Because right after when he makes Junior sad after ruining his little level design thing when he goes to the Mario Maker level, Bowser is like, okay, no, this needs to stop. You're making my son feel bad. Like, he actually goes after Mario by himself by the bridge, and that's what it gives him the motivation to keep going after Mario. I think the only thing that really put it down was when they went to the Honey Hive Kingdom for like literally 2 seconds.
No, okay. Yeah, no, like they like even on the websites in the promotional material for the Mario Galaxy movie, they were hyping up the Beehive Galaxy. We were there for like what, 2 minutes? Like what, 2 or 3 minutes? And also, I feel like the voice actress, I forget who the voice actress is for the Honey Hive.
Issa Rae.
Like why waste like I just feel like that casting slot was just like, what was the point? Like, no, like she did a good job, but it's just like I feel like you're robbing these voice actors and actresses who are putting the time and the money in to try and put on this great performance for your characters, and they're barely even on screen. So what's the point at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's a lot of wasted potential with some of these locations and some of these characters, and they aren't expanding these characters enough. Like, I feel like Betty Safdie, out of all the new voice actresses and like the new cast members, got the most like spotlight and time to actually flesh out the characters. And Glenn Powell as Fox, and he's not even a Mario character. So it's just kind of like, I feel like there's a lot of ingredients tossed into the frickin' sauce here that aren't working together well. There's a lot of things here that aren't working as nicely. And yes, while there's some funny sequences, such as frickin' the NES Zapper, frickin' turning frickin' Mario and Luigi into babies, which, by the way, that little bit of that makes sense. By the way, one thing I did realize and notice, actually, that was a pretty cool detail, which again is another point as to why this is references galore, is that in Bowser Jr.'s arsenal of weapons, the poltergust could be seen there. I don't know if you noticed that. The poltergust is there. Yeah, which I'm just like oh, no. What?
I was so like, huh? Yeah, I understand fully. I was kind of like, but I guess I don't want to. I mean, again, I don't want to go like forward and saying like, oh my gosh, this goes into Luigi's Mansion or like some other game, you know.
I feel like if anything, this deconfirms that we may or may not might not get a Galaxy movie. Not Galaxy movie. Luigi's Mansion movie. I don't know, man. Like, if that's just sitting there. Who's calling me as I'm filming a video? If anything, I'll say one thing. I want to jump into the next thing here, which is kind of like the last like big like one of the like little subplots of the movie, is Peach and Rosalina being sisters, which I'm not against. It's just kind of a weird choice.
In the original concept, Rosalina looked so much like Peach that they were like, hold on, maybe they're like siblings, but then they replaced that and like Rosalina was her own character. But there's been like so many fan theories on like if Rosalina was her mother or sister or somewhat related to her, but like it was never confirmed by Nintendo. So
I honestly don't know how to feel about that choice in the narrative, because like, I mean, the part of it too, having them have the ability, the cosmic ability to basically form life in space, like basically create life, like basically combining their powers or basically the essence of their atoms or whatever, however it freaking works, is like they basically can create life, which I don't understand. So basically Peach was created from nothing, essentially, is what the movie's saying.
oh god.
Both like basically Peach and Rosalina are made from Stardust. Now, for Rosalina, that makes sense, from what we know. But for Peach, it's just like, so they were just created from nothing, essentially. Like they were just on this planet in the middle of space.
Yeah. I mean, from the general consensus from what I got from this movie is that like Rosalina took Peach and took her way into this pipe, and that's how the Toads found her and she became the princess. Which, okay, but you know, there's something wrong here. Who was after you, Rosalina? Because if you're not going to tell us that, movie, then...
Here's why I think, and I feel like it's going to be in pure classic Illumination fashion, where it's just this random entity who's after these characters for a flashback, and we never see them again and never know who they are. That's why I feel like this is going to go. And you know what? Maybe I will be proven wrong, and maybe they'll expand upon that in the next film, or maybe for a possible Smash Bros. Movie. Who knows? But I feel like this is going to be a pure classic Illumination move, where this random person that was going after Rosalina and Peach is never shown or revealed, and it's just there for plot convenience. That's how I feel like this is going to go, and that's something I'm not really fond of. I don't really like that, because I feel like you're introducing something that is a bigger threat, but we don't get to see who or what it is, which contributes to where we are now. Like, everything you put in a film contributes to something in the lore in the long run. But if you're not going to expand upon that or elaborate on it, I just feel like for a lot of people who watch this movie, they're probably not even going to look that too deep into, like, you know, the little subplots here and there, the little details, and they're just going to enjoy it as a film, which honestly good for them if you enjoyed it for what it was. But I just feel like there's a lot of unexplained things in this film. And speaking of unexplained things, bro, Peach just jumped into that warp star without the Luma even explaining how it works. And I know you mentioned that, and I'm just like, there's a lot of like galaxy logic here in terms of warp stars and galaxy mechanics, and all these characters just somehow in some way know how all this stuff works.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest part of this movie that I was really kind of like, okay, that's weird.
Like even the first film explained warp pipes and explained some of the extra details and how that stuff worked. But this one didn't take the time to explain that, which I'm just like, what changed between the production, like, of the choices that were being made in the first film to now? Like, what changed eternally, I feel like?
Compare and contrast from the game to this movie, like, literally both Galaxy games, they don't explain how Mario literally breathes in freaking space, but, like, literally, that's not the first time he's been in space. I think that was the first time they did it. It was, like, a few games before that. In the general, the Galaxy games don't explain how you literally breathe in space, and, you know, you don't have, like, an outfit or whatever. Even in the games, they just like, hey, this will launch you to the planet lickety-split, boom. In this movie, I feel like you kind of do, like, you don't have to explain the whole story of, like, you know, how you're gonna breathe in space, but I think the entire thing is that the Luma didn't explain how the launch star worked either, which kind of threw me off. So what if Peach just jumped off and the warp star didn't work and she fell to her death? Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, that kind of, you know, that threw me off. How did she know that would work, you know? Her and Toad were like, nod. Jump off the castle.
Hold on. One second. Just to demonstrate. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, when I'm playing a freaking Mario Galaxy game, I gotta shake my freaking Joy-Con to try and freaking, you know, I gotta shake my little body a little to try and, you know, jump in that warp star. And if I don't, I'm just gonna be floating there. I'm gonna be falling through like this. say they do a great job leaning into the sound effects and whatnot, especially like with the new Super Mario Brothers world map, when the like Mario and Luigi are protecting the kingdom, Mushroom Kingdom, as Peach is away. When they leaned into like the little map, they're doing the little levels as they're protecting. Like it's kind of like that was kind of a little mini sequence of like where it felt like they were doing like levels as like they were to protect the Mushroom Kingdom, which is kind of a cool little factor they lean into. But again, it's just kind of like those little niche things. It's kind of like a point and admire thing. Again, it kind of leads into that factor I was talking about earlier with not spoilers. But I do appreciate that those little references though that lean into like, you know, the core aspect of the games. And especially with the freaking sound effects, like I heard the one life alert freaking sound from Galaxy during that sequence.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I was like, oh no, it's PTSD. Stop. Oh god. Like, oh my god. Like I remember being a kid and the first time I heard that I was like, please stop. I don't want to hear this damn sound again. Oh my god. And I heard it in the movie theater and I looked at my grandma and she was like, oh, I've heard that before. And I'm just like, yeah, you've heard it, but I have it in my mind. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I will say that sequence was, I think that was one of the more really well done sequences. But again, it's more like the action sequences are done really well. But again, with like, you know, little moments, it's not really like priority or focus in this film, which I don't think it's Nintendo's priority. But like another thing that I was like, I feel like that's pretty much all like the big moment, like the big action sequences, or just like little moments that I enjoyed for like outside of like story wise and whatnot. So like again, for this film, it's literally like if you're a fan of the games or like know the Mario, know the Mario lore and you're knowledgeable in the fandom, like you'll have a great time in this movie. Like you're gonna enjoy it. But again, I don't know. It just feels like a lot of things are out of place. Which again, I kind of want to start wrapping up here in a bit. But essentially, like spoilers wise, like, you know, they do a lot of great things in terms of wrapping things up. And again, like the movie really ends abruptly, like with the credit when the credit starts to roll too, which is kind of something that I kind of was off by. And you know what the funniest thing was? The funniest thing is like, you know, when the Lumas are like, hey, let's go see the Mushroom Kingdom, the Peach's Castle. Hold on, this bit was funny. When the castle was not there, but then, you know, the Luma's like, where'd it go? And then Luigi's just like, oh, you know, the castle, it died. That was really funny. I love that moment.
That
was great. That was great.
Yeah. But again,
then following
that,
they're like, hey, let's rebuild the castle. But then after that, we go into this sequence of where it's like 2D pixel art, which by the way, it's really great looking 2D pixel art, by the way. But did it not feel like when they did that pixel art, I almost thought like, did they run out of budget for the animation? That's kind of what it felt like. I'm serious.
Yeah, that really proved that it was rushed. I was just like, wait, what? That's it?
What?
You know,
yeah, and then it's like, oh, Cape Mario. I'm like, what? We're just gonna jump Cape Mario on the screen? Oh, hoppity hop, skippity hop to raise the flag on the castle. Credits roll. I'm like, huh? The ending felt so rushed. I'm just like, bro, you basically made what could have been like the last 10 minutes of the film into like 2 minutes. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, yeah, you could argue the same thing about the first film, about them settling into their new life, but that one felt more fitting. It felt like it actually fit into place with the film because they defeated them and then we saw the entire town coming together. It was like a resolution for them in Brooklyn, and then it was kind of like the ending of the first film was kind of like a tease into their new life of what's going next with these other worlds through the world pipes. So it kind of was like more fitting for like, because again, you could argue the first film's ending was rushed, but like it felt more fitting. This one is just like, whoa, bada bing, bada boom, castle rebuild, roll credits. It's just, I felt really mixed on the ending of the film. I really was. It didn't fit right. And then the post-credits scene, you know, with the frickin' blue Luma, the frickin' psychotic blue Luma, which again was spoiled, by the way, in teasers, by the way. I don't know if you realized that. That was spoiled in trailers and teasers.
It was?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Well, I think the moment was, the moment where Bowser and Bowser Jr. were in the trailer. No.
Oh, no. But like the blue Luma being there, yeah. I'm just like, it kind of still did spoil it. And then Daisy, obviously the second post-credits scene, which I'm kind of like, finally? It took y'all this long to put Daisy in the freaking movies? Yeah. I'm just like maybe, I'm just like my theater like erupted when they saw her, but I'm just like, it took y'all that long? Like, it took that long?
I don't know. Dude, I swear to God, if they do that stupid thing, since Peach and Rosalina are related, watch like Daisy. I saw like a comment on like some type of thing of like so many spoilers, and they were like, dude, I swear to God, watch Daisy be the cousin or some crap. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God! No, we need we need the Luigi and Daisy romance, bro. Come on now. Like, they literally foreshadowed. I'm not even kidding you. During the movie, they foreshadowed Daisy when Luigi's like, hey, maybe you'll find a little lady friend of mine. They literally foreshadowed it.
That was right after, like, they went into Gateway. I was like, okay, maybe Daisy is in this movie. But then she wasn't until the post-credit scene. I was like, damn it. Like, what are we doing? I don't know.
In general, I just feel like this movie, in general, like, it wasn't bad. Like, when I first came out of the theater, I'm like, bro, what did I just watch? Holy mid. But now, after taking a day to process it, it's not terrible. It's not a bad film. It's just, it feels like the directors, Michael Jelenic and Aaron Horvath, haven't learned anything from the first film. In fact, I feel like they're trying to do way too much when they could be doing so much more to expand story, like the characters' arcs, expand story development, expand basically the lore of this universe that they are telling it in. And it just feels like there's a lot of missed opportunities of what they could be doing with these characters. Well, again, while what they're doing right now is not bad, it's not terrible, it's really great. Like, Illumination does an incredible job of the animation department. Like, everything animation-wise and music is a 10 out of 10 from me. Like, no notes on that. But the entire movie, Galaxy movie in general, to me, was a 6 out of 10. It wasn't terrible, but again, there's so much more they could be doing with like Mario and Peach. Like, Mario and Peach, they lean into that, obviously, but again, there's so many other conflicting subplots they're trying to get to all at once. And again, this feels like the one meme where the girl's being fed like a bunch of food from all these different other hands and freaking chefs and cooks. You know, have you ever seen that? I'll pull the meme up. That's what it kind of feels like right now. That's what it kind of feels like. That's what this movie is to me. It's like there's too much. I'm being fed too much at once. That's what this movie is, and I just feel like I need less fed to me in the next one. And I feel like in the I highly doubt that's going to be the case if it's the same people working on it. There needs to be more substance in these films. There needs to be more, at least for me. However, for a lot of people, and for a lot of you watching this, you probably disagree with what I'm saying, and you probably absolutely love the film for what it was. And honestly, I'm happy for you. I genuinely am happy for you that you had a good time watching the film. I really am. And if you did enjoy watching the film, comment down below what your favorite part of the film was. Comment down what moments or Easter eggs you enjoyed, what references you liked the most, and like what about like what action sequences or story plot points you liked the most. Like, what stuck out to you the most during that film? Because honestly, for me, there are parts that stuck out to me, but it wasn't anything story-wise that stuck out to me, which is kind of like, it just feels like we're doing this kind of amusement park ride thing. Because if there's nothing really story-wise that stuck, I mean, there were things that stuck out to be story-wise, but it wasn't anything that was there for like longer than like a minute or two. It like, we basically had to go from point A to point B to point C, and we didn't slow down at all. Which again, I feel like the next film just needs to slow down. It needs to slow down.
Again, as you said, like literally it's no masterpiece. Neither was the first movie. As a sequel, I feel like they did disappoint a little bit because of, I guess we weren't like expecting much, but we weren't expecting less either. So I think that's really where it put me down, because I was like, oh, well, could have had that, but you didn't. So, you know, for me, I would probably give it like a 6.5. I think that's pretty fair. It's mostly because of the characters that I was leaning into, and some of my favorite characters did get a little bit more spotlight. Obviously, the new characters did kind of get shafted, but mainly I think like the main characters that we did have, like they put a little bit more spotlight on them. So like,
and also I was kind of upset that they wasted Mega Leg almost like basically immediately as we start the film. Like, we just wasted Mega Leg immediately. It's like, bro, why aren't we saving that for later in the film? It's like that was immediately
a big deal in the trailers. Like a big deal.
Big deal. It's right there. Like in the first 5 minutes, I'm like, bro, we just started. I don't know. There was a lot of things that they really like did like almost immediately in the film, and then the rest of it was just kind of like, you know, That's one man's take or two men's take. If you want to go watch it, go watch it. I watched it on IMAX. I'm literally about to go watch it again as I speak, as I record this. I'm literally about to go watch it again. Anyways, thank you for joining me for this. This was really lovely talking to you again. We should do this sometime. Popeyes next week, right? 3 p.m., right? Right? For lunch, right?
I was not told this.
I know. We're doing that or what?
You didn't. Are you mentioning this on video now? Instead of asking
bro,
me before?
it's date night next week, right?
Would've
It's
been more
date night,
professional?
right? It's date night next week, bro. Like, it's date night. Bro.
This guy.
Dude, it's date. What? Hey, what are we supposed to do? And thank you all for watching this video, no matter how long this might be in the final edit. I hope you guys enjoyed the Mario Galaxy movie, or if you didn't enjoy it, like, let me know, let us know your full thoughts down in the comments down below, what stuck out to you the most, and what maybe could have been better in your eyes for the Mario Galaxy movie. And by the way, you should definitely check out this handsome fella right here. He's actually about to rebrand his whole freaking channel, actually. You should definitely see what he's cooking up. He's doing some Spider-Man stuff. He's doing, you know, a bit of his own Mario Galaxy thing. You know, you should definitely, you know, take a look at him. And honestly, you heard me mention an animated series earlier. I'm working on this thing called Sonic Beyond. It ain't official, but you know, it actually looks pretty sick. We got some pretty cool freaking, you know, sick people in it. He's actually involved in it too, actually. So you should definitely go check out the trailer for that. It's up now. It's in production. Y'all should go take a look at that and stay tuned for that. And definitely keep an eye out for more Star Fox stuff, because I definitely want to spend some more time talking about the future of Star Fox, because I heard there's going to be possibly another Star Fox game this year, which, yes, please, just don't let it be a safe bet and let it be a risky bet, please, because I'd rather have something that's new and fresh than the same thing over and over again from Star Fox. Anyways, leave a like if you happen to enjoy something from this video, and if you guys are new around here, why not consider subscribing if you happen to enjoy something out of this video. I do a lot of streams. I stream quite often. I'm trying to be better with videos, but I'm gonna get better with videos as time goes on. And outside of that, yeah, you should guys, I'm in a Discord server. You guys should check it out. You know, you guys should post some pretty cool art in there. You know, that'd be pretty freaking sick. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch the movie again. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch the movie again. I'm gonna go watch the movie again. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining me, Holla. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out. I'm just gonna see you, everyone. I'm going. Later. See ya.
Dude. Bye.